Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emmanuel Johnson, and today I'll be talking about some very important information and about this very topic. I'll be talking about the future of our education system. Actually, I don't like calling it education system. I like calling it the future of our schooling system, because there is a difference between education and schooling. Getting school, that just means that you're going to pass through the system of going primary schools, high schools, go to college, go to the universities, grab those papers, which is not very bad, because I believe it lays for you a better foundation to your success or to your future. I'm not saying that it's very bad to achieve. Go through all those achievements, it's very good. But is it the most important thing that you should be chasing? Or it should be something that you add on, must get some other stuff to back it up. A few years back, I read this report from the National Planning Authority here in Uganda, and they said that over 700,000 graduates every year who leave these high institutions of learning, only 90,000 get formal jobs that are viable. That means that only 87% of the graduates every year are not employed. So where do all those go? And that means that only 13% of the graduates that get out of tertiary institutions every year enter the job market. And that is not something that is surprising, because we believe that each and every population out there that has the median age below 23 must face this problem of unemployment. How does this come about? Because availability of employment or availability of jobs depends on different factors. And this is favorable government policies. It also depends on the availability of capital, availability of resources, availability of government policies, as I've said, and having availability of resources, assets, and investments. But then this means that the people getting out of the universities, the people getting out of colleges, the people getting out of these tertiary institutions are overwhelming the people that are already there to create those investments, to create those the jobs that they will be working. So what ends up in is that we shall have more of job seekers that are out there unemployed, because their papers, first of all, you all know our system. Our education system is built on memorization of information. We have very many people out there who get out of colleges, but they cannot even write a proposal, a project plan. They cannot do monitoring and evaluation analysis of any project. This has happened quite often, and that's why most of the jobs that are being advertised, they're saying we need experience of 5 years, experience of 3 years. So why are you going to get that experience? We have this 87% of graduates every year, zero experience, and all jobs that are being advertised, they're asking for instant experience. So where does the experience come from, and where are we headed to? Shall we keep on relying on this schooling format way that we are in, that does not give us anything? Otherwise, and the problem is that we only studied past exams. I remember in our schools where we learned these forests, we were learning about the British Columbia forestry that was there, wheat growing, superior, the problems that were faced by the superior lakes. What do all those help us? I think the problem that we're facing right now in our generation is that very many parents don't mind about their children's happiness and passion. If you could mind much about discovering why your child belongs, what they are passionate about, what they are good at, and develop that, I think we'd be facing a better generation and having a better world of job creators rather than job seekers. This report of 87% unemployed was really worrying, and we have to work on it. Therefore, what do we do? I'm not trying to trash because we're in a graduation period, so I'm not trying to say that those who are graduating are really wasting their time. No, you're not wasting your time. A degree is very much important, but it's not the most important thing. You need it, but then what else do you have on top of that? Because nowadays, a few months back, there was a seminar by NSF, which is National Security Fund, and the CEO made a statement and said that nowadays they no longer mind about your degree or your levels of education or your results, your papers, because they no longer matter. This is why he said that nowadays they're employing people who are good at what they can do. They ask you, what can you bring at the table? What have you done? They no longer ask you when they're employing that which schools did you go to, what are your papers, did you get a first class degree or you didn't. What they ask is that what can you do or what have you done before. They have very many people who have never entered a university, but they can do better programming. They can design codes better than the graduates. So what's the necessity of employing you with your degree if you cannot code? You cannot design any program. I mean, this digital area we are in has uncomfortably seized away the education system that we're having. Why do I need to go to class and study mathematics so that I can get all the calculations on my phone? Why do I need to go to class and study all these periodic tables? When I can get all the information on my fingertips at zero cost in no seconds? I'm not saying you should not go to school and widen the gap of your thinking, but I'm saying that if the parents can help discover the passion and the talents of their kids, it will be much more better. And then they focus on what they can do best and focus on what they love and focus on where they were created to be. Not going to these schools and studying about the forest, studying about history that will never help them in any way. I made an interview with a professor and a good friend of mine, and he is a vice chancellor of some university here in Uganda. I want you to watch it and see what he had to say about the education system and the career guidance that is happening in the country. This is what he had to say. So, what do you think of the current status of the career guidance in Uganda?
It's not there. Where is it? We can't even talk about something that is there. Where is it? It's not happening.
So career guidance is nowhere in Uganda.
It's not happening. Where? If it was happening, how do you explain 100,000 graduates every year, more than 100,000 graduates, and 10,000 of those are getting jobs,
yes,
and 90,000 are nowhere in the job market? So 9 out of 10 graduates from different institutions of higher learning in this country end up not being employed for the next 5 to 10 years. So where's career guidance? People just studied anything because they needed points at senior 6, they got them, they got government scholarship, or they didn't get, and now they just studied anything. In a situation of primary 7 where they need, the obsession is getting 4. If you don't get them, you're not intelligent. In a situation where you are in senior 4, you are just supposed to simply get some T1s.
So you can imagine this is the whole professor, but he knows that if we don't go through hands-on skilling, or we teach the subjects that are beneficial to these kids, or we mind about their interests, then we shall be wasting time. I'm telling you, if you go around the streets and you see very many vendors, there's no vendor that doesn't know English. There's no mobile money attendant that doesn't speak English. And a very good English, by the way. That means that go get that degree. Very amazing. Very good. Congratulations. It's a very nice one. You're making your parents happy. But then what else can you do unique? Because everyone has a degree apparently. Everyone has a degree. Everyone has gone to the university. Everyone has graduated. But do you have that unique talent in you? Can you sit down and say, I can do this different? Or it's all about go, spend sleepless night in classes, read those books, get first class degree, graduate and go on the street and start looking for jobs? That won't help us. I mean, going to school, schools do not teach us how to be successful. Schools teach us how to memorize information. The school system is based on memorization of content, of stuff. You go to class and cram stuff and go and pass exams and you get the marks. And that's all. I know of a friend of mine who was an accountant and got a first class degree, had a CPA, was very, very brilliant. On his first job, he cancelled 3 checks consecutively. 3 checks. Did you get that right? 3 checks were cancelled and he was chased. But he was brilliant. What does that mean? He started all these check signing, but he had never touched a paper, a check leaf. So why are we heading with this education system that we're having? And what should we do to change it? I think it all starts with the mindset change. We have to tell our parents that it's not all about going to schools and you know there's this thinking that most of our parents think that for you to be successful, you must be a doctor, you must be an engineer, you must be a lawyer. But that mentality has to change today. Actually, it must have changed like yesterday. That's what sort would be the best. But then since it hasn't, we are the people that have to change it and make the society that we want to live in. Because if we don't talk about this, we shall keep on wasting time on these things. If it is change the curriculum that we are having, we have to change it and make sure that we have a beneficial curriculum that we are following. We are tired of keeping on following things and stuff that will never help us. I want you to imagine all the stuff that you studied from your kindergarten, from your primary schools, from your secondary schools, the forest, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. And we have to change it. We have very many people educated but unemployed. They cannot start a business even when they have resources at hand. Even when you give them capital, you call a graduate and ask him or her, if I give you 10 million right now, what would you do? And they have no plan for it. And they went to the entire process of schooling and graduating and getting good grades, but they have nothing they can do for themselves. They cannot start a business and sustain them. Why? Why? Jobs will never happen. Jobs will never create themselves. We have to create them. We have to sharpen our brains. We have to get what we can do better to ensure that we change the status quo. And that's what we have to do. Nothing else. And no one will do it for us. We have to do it for ourselves. Other people are doing it. Why can't we do it? We can change this. We have to to take away the mentality of blaming. Very many youth out there are good at blaming. It's the government, it's my parents, it's the school, it's what I went through, it's my background. I mean, let me tell you this, no one is rich enough to buy yesterday. But if you hustle so much, tomorrow can be yours. You can own tomorrow if you work so hard. So stop the blaming game. Stop the victim mentality. Stop victimizing yourself. Stop talking about your parents. Stop blaming your education system. Stop blaming your background. Those are just scars that gave you the lesson that went through. So how best can you change your mind? Everything starts up here. If you change the way you think, then you change everything in your future. Let me tell you, if you follow this, if you start being exposed, it's all about exposure. I want to say this real quick, that most of us, we confuse inexperience with lack of qualification. What do I mean? Just because you've never played golf, you think you cannot do it. It's never been yours. Just because you've never held a phone and buy some Bitcoin or held any computer and go on any social media and earn from it, you think that's not meant for you. So we think you're not qualified to do that just because we're not experienced, we're not exposed. One trick I can give is just make sure that every month you try out one new thing. If it doesn't work out for you, leave it, but try a new thing every month. Before you know, you will know why you lie, you know why you belong, you get something new that earns you a penny. Get something that will help you out there apart from your education system, apart from the memorization of information and content you get from colleges and high school and universities. What else can you do? Stop saying that you're not qualified for something. Go and get experience on it. Just because you're not qualified in sales doesn't mean that you cannot sell something. Become an expert in sales marketing, but you've not gone to school for it. I mean, it's just mere way of learning how to communicate, how to interact with different people. Simple basic skills. For me, I think if we learn that, I'm very, very much worried about the future of our education system or schooling system. Education is very good. Go read books, expand your knowledge, do some courses that are very, very helpful, but in the field that you're very happy in. Let us not be taken by the peer pressures of our parents and the societal pressure that they need us to be this. No, what do you need to be? You as you. What do you think is that inner thing that was created in you? You feel that is a calling, that every night you sleep it calls you like you're meant to be this, you're meant to do this, you're meant to create this impact in this area. And if you do that, we shall have a bright future. And we shall all be happy. We shall avoid these burnouts. When you're doing something you don't love, when you're doing something you're not passionate about, you definitely have to burn out at the job. With all this, that's all from me. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter, Emmanuel Johnson, Instagram, Emmanuel Johnson. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and share to someone else that you feel they need this information. I wish you the best. Graduates that are getting out of colleges and university, thank you, congratulations. Go out there and face the world. You've just started. I mean, be very happy because you've gotten a big achievement. It's very good. We love you, we appreciate you, we celebrate you. But just warm up for a new journey. Thank you.